Hey guys, my name is Ankit Verma and currently I am a graduate student at Columbia Universities. As you guys all know, along with statement of purpose and other application materials, letters of recommendations or in short form LORs play a very crucial role whether you are applying to a graduate study or a scholarship or anywhere else where letters of recommendations are required. Sometimes they are so important that they can either make or break your acceptance or rejection. So letters of recommendations are important, and because this is the document which helps the reader or the person who is reviewing your application to form a perspective or form an idea of what other people thinks. So statement of purpose gives the idea to the reviewer that why the applicant is interested in whatever the program is, but will the person be able to fit in the community that he's applying to, or how the person has performed in past. So that's why letters of recommendations are very important, and let's see how this can or how you can ensure that letters of recommendations strengthen your performances or strengthen your application rather than turning the table upside down against you. So this video is divided into two major parts. This is because the letters of recommendations are usually written in two ways. Firstly, the applicant asks the person to write a recommendation, and secondly, in some countries, the when you ask a person to write an application or write a recommendation for you, the person will ask you to write an initial draft, and the person reviews it and signs it and uploads it. So these are two different things, and that's why the video is divided accordingly. The first point to keep in mind, and it is very important, that you ask people from diverse backgrounds to write recommendations for you. This is important because in this way you can ensure that people don't end up writing similar things in all the three or four or whatever number of letters of recommendations are required for the application. Because let's say three letters of recommendations are required and you ask three professors or two professors, one professor and one project mentor, they will write more or less similar things or similar grounds, and that won't be an added advantage for you. So let's say if there are three letters of recommendation, ask one project manager, mentor, one professor, one intern manager, the place where you intern, etc. Also you can ask them, or maybe like you start by telling like you are applying for a scholarship or you are applying for a graduate study, and this is why your recommendation is important. And how do you can even ask them to like let's say you are talking to an intern manager, then you can ask how do you rate my teamwork, how do you rate how did I do did overall in the project, or how was your experience with me, and things like that. Similarly, to a project manager, you can ask how well committed I was to the project. Like, do you think I was technical enough, or my knowledge was technical enough, or whatever the project required? Like, did it corroborate or strengthen, or did it help you in any way? So try to make sure that people write different things. Discussing things in these ways to the person who is writing your recommendation will give an indirect direction to the person, and it will be beneficial for you as well as the person as well. Because whenever a person starts writing something, usually the person is clueless, but indirectly you have kind of fed in the person's mind that this is what you are expecting, and the person can write on those terms. It will be really helpful for you. Secondly, rank content over designation. So let's say you have to choose between an associate professor or a director and a director of a department. And you know that if the professor is going to write, he or she is going to include more examples, or make it more personal, rather than writing it very general, you and which is usually the case with the department heads, because maybe they don't know you at that personal level, or maybe you have met just once or twice. So it's very difficult for them to write, and go very personal. So I would always suggest prefer content over designation. You The third point, which is kind of related with the second point but is also very important, is that try to request the person or your recommender to write specific letters of recommendation, or include examples in that, rather than being very general and writing statement like person X is very good natured or very good at studies. These don't add value. Try to ask them to include specific examples that they remember, or even if they don't remember, you like if you are taking a class and a professor and ask them to write recommendation for you, try to make them remember, like, okay, so this was one time, professor, that I did that, you asked something and I was the first one to answer it, or you gave me an A plus in my project or in my exam, just because I did that, or I answered it in very difficult way or in a very different way. So things like that. So try to make them aware, or ask them to include examples, be specific, because it's just about like that what I talk in my statement of purpose video. Like, you are trying to create an idea in the reader's mind, and that idea is that how well the person knows this person. Okay, so, and it's pure human behavior, right? So if you know a person very well, or if you have worked with a person for a fair, like, let's say 1 or 2 months, it's very difficult that you cannot tell or give very specific examples to demonstrate. Like, it would be like showing and not just simply writing. So the fourth thing to keep in mind is that sometimes the application itself asks whether you want to keep your letters of recommendation confidential, that is between your recommender and the organization that you're applying to, or you want to know the contents. Always go and always choose the first one, because if the reviewer comes to know that that this is not a confidential letter of recommendation, the person loses kind of trust in that letters of recommendation, because then the person knows, right? Because the candidate knows it, the recommender could not express himself or herself freely or independently. Maybe you have an influence, maybe the applicant has an influence in that, maybe the applicant changed the contents, etc. If you are asked to prepare the initial draft of the letter of recommendation, then include everything that I previously mentioned, but focus a lot on the content part. So now you have the opportunity to include or write or prepare the draft, right? So include everything that I mentioned, and the things that you don't have a lot of control if the other person writes, try to include them. So these include, like, maybe things that are not that supported or from the other like in other parts of your application, things that are not or that cannot be quantified, such as how good you were in a team, what kind of vibe you bring to your team, how do you uplift people around you. So in other parts of an application, you cannot mention that. In your SOP, you write why you are motivated, why to apply, and in the application itself, you write your GPA scores, etc., etc. But you cannot quantify these things, right? How well you do in a team, etc. So include those things. So if you see, what I'm trying to say is that you use different parts of your application in different ways, but keep in mind that they all become coherent, so that nothing is repeated but still they provide a total overall picture of you. So this is very important, and if the person asks you to draft it, then you have a power. Now, the second additional point, and this is a very difficult thing to do, but I would mention it because it's kind of the most important thing, or the most important point of this video, is that let's consider the worst case scenario. So you have to write statement of purpose and all the letters of recommendations by yourself, and then have to give it to the person to review. Now let's take the example of SOP plus 3 letters of recommendation. Now it is very important that you try to maintain different writing style in all 4 of these documents, because the person reading can easily consider or easily make out that same person wrote all these 4 documents. And as the number of documents increase, your chances of being caught if you have written or prepared the initial draft increases. So try to maintain different writing style. It seems very easy, but it's very difficult, trust me. So let's say in your SOP, you or your natural way of writing is I am, like you write I am with I apostrophe am, or you generally write very long sentences. So try not to include these things, or try to avoid these things when you prepare draft of your letter of recommendations, because it's important. You cannot give a picture in the mind of the reader is that you only wrote this letter of recommendation. And because it is very difficult to do, try to find that 50% of your letter of recommendation by number, I mean. So let's say you have to give 2 LOR, so at least 1 LOR is written by the person himself or herself, and you write or you prepare the initial draft for the other if the person asks to do. If there are 3 letters of recommendation required, maybe 2 or at least 1 the person should write himself or herself. Try to ensure that. The third additional point I would like to mention is that write about 1 or 2 main highlight from your SOP, and this should be main highlight, not very small point. The reason you should write about it is that it corroborates or strengthens your application, that okay, because ultimately the person is going to view it as coming from a recommender, right? So okay, yeah, the person has done something which his or her recommender also knows, so this must be something big. So like include the scholarship that you won, or you were the first one to do XYZ, etc. But don't include very small things, or things that only the applicant can know in that, because it will give a clear indication that the person himself has written his or her letter of recommendation. Avoid that. So some other general tips include: make sure that the letter is printed, or the recommendation letter is printed on official letterhead, signed and stamped by the person. Secondly, when you apply or when you are in your application process, they usually ask the contact information, the email or contact number of your recommender. First, ask your recommender whether he or she agrees to write recommendation for you, and then only put that, because sometimes it does not affect your application in a way that they allow you to change it very easily. But in some applications, I myself have seen that if the person is not willing to give, you have to go through an entire process of emailing the application body, they approve it, it takes time, it like you lose your peace of mind. So try to make sure initially, and then only when you are confirmed that yes, this person agrees to enter or write a recommendation letter for you, then only you enter the details. make sure that they upload this letter of recommendation from the official link that they receive, and not like just go and upload anywhere else. Lastly, whenever a recommender submits or uploads a recommendation letter on your behalf, you will definitely get an email from the organization that yes, this person has submitted a recommendation letter on your behalf. So keep checking your emails. If you are not getting, or you haven't got any such email, keep sending gentle reminders to your recommenders that the deadline is approaching, etc., so that they have in mind. Because if your letters of recommendations are not complete by the time when the reviewers start reviewing your application, then it is considered default on your part rather than on the recommender's part, because ultimately it's your application process. So make sure that they have submitted and everything is complete before they start reviewing. So I hope this video was helpful for you, and now you have better insights about letter of recommendation. Let me know on what other topics you want me to make videos on. And yeah, if you want, you can like or subscribe this channel, because I am planning to make such videos more in future. So give it a thumbs up or subscribe to the channel to be informed. All the best.